going on, Nitrosites? It is your boy, the Nitro General here, and welcome back to our draft analysis of Season 9 of the NPBA. I'm super excited about this, guys. This is the 9th season, which is really, really crazy. Next season is going to be Season 10, which is really, really nuts. I'm just going to start this off by saying, if I sound like this, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I'm trying to get over a cold. I wanted to get over it before I recorded this, but unfortunately, this is my 10th day of having it, and I still sound like this. Plus, it doesn't help that I've already recorded this video twice and realized that the recording wasn't going. So now my voice is even more shot. My throat is killing me. So we're going to try and go through this as quickly as I can without giving as much detail as I physically can. Again, for the third time. So if you guys feel bad for me and you want to smash that like button for my pain, I really appreciate it. As well, if you guys are excited for this season, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you guys are new. Share this video with your friends. As always, make sure your notifications are on so you do not miss a brand new video every single Sunday. Or unless, something happens with scheduling wise, it might be a little bit after Sunday, but we're going to aim for Sundays. Make sure you guys are watching this video in its entirety. It really helps out the algorithm, pushing other people who might enjoy the content. And last but definitely not least, leave me a comment about anything about our team, anything I say in this video. Leave me a comment about it down below. But yeah, other than that, guys, let's get right into it. So the NPBA is a snake-style draft that I created, right? The Nitro Pokemon Battle Academy is the draft league that I created about a long time ago. And we have met a lot of really, really cool guys through the NPBA, a lot of which are playing in this season. Actually, in fact, this is one of the first seasons where the entire season is composed of teams that have participated in previous seasons. So if you are participating in the league, just know I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to play. So yeah, snake style draft goes from first to last and then last to first, right? So we got overall third pick in the draft, which we have really good luck getting close to the wheel at one end or the other. Sometimes I feel like maybe the middle is better because there's less chance of getting sniped. I don't know. Math makes sense in my head, but we still got third pick, which meant that we had first dibs on. We had one of the first dibs on one of the best Pokemon, right? I wasn't planning on drafting my Mega until later in the draft because it was a tier 3 Mega to give me 50 extra points to use to draft more Pokemon, and I didn't think it was going to be picked. Luckily, the first two people went for Megas, so I was finally able to pick up a Pokemon that I had been trying to draft since the very first season of the NPBA, literally every single season, and has been sniped for me every single time, so finally been able to use it. Urshifu Rapid Strike, right? We got Balboa here. Obviously, this thing being one of the best Pokemon ever created, it's just amazing, right? It's very self-explanatory. It's Urshifu, right? 100 HP, 130 attack, 100 defense, 63 special attack, 60 defense, and 97 speed, right? Not a terrible speed stat. It's really, really good in general. Really, really good. 130 attack. Hits absolutely insane. And actually could be run kind of bulky if I choose to run it that way. So that's pretty cool. Does get access to Unseen Fist, which obviously is not as good in singles as it is in doubles because it's easier to predict. All my opponent has to do to not have it come in handy is to not go for protect. So it does mean that they can't scout for moves. Doesn't mean they can't protect to get some extra HP from leftovers or something like that. So unless my opponent forgets, which is a possibility, obviously Unseen Fist isn't really going to come into and handy, right? Surging Strike's really, really good. Obviously, this thing does a lot of damage. Close combat, really, really good. I thought this thing got access to Sword Stance, but I guess it doesn't. So Bulk Up is still its only setup move, which is still really good. +1 defense, +1 attack. Absolutely insane. Taunt is really nice to help our team out. It does get Iron Head, also Poison Jab too, but I think Iron Head is just better in general for those pesky fairy types. And then we do have Ice Spinner as well. So he's just a very, very good Pokemon. These are not all the moves that we can use. They're just notable moves, by the way. So, yeah, I just think he's just a really, really good Pokemon. And I can finally forgo trying to draft him next season. Because I finally got to draft him. And I'm so hyped. And we drafted the most busted team that I think I've ever drafted ever. So, yeah. our tier 1 that we got, right? I had to wait for it to go all the way to the end of round 1 and get to the end of tier 2 before I got to pick again, right? I had a thought in my head of like 2 more Pokemon that I thought I could get. Even though I planned out my draft like a week before, I never thought I would be able to get these next 2 Pokemon, right? Our tier 2 was actually something I was planning on drafting in tier 1, right? I was planning on drafting in tier 1, but a bunch of the guys, including Treya, and I hope he's watching this right now because he keeps telling me that this Pokemon is not as good as I think it is. I think it's really good. We got Regieleki, right? It was banned in NatDex in Gen 8. It was banned in OU. This thing was an absolute menace in VGC. You know, I get it, the metagame changes, but I cannot see this thing not being absolutely insane. So, Trey, I know you can't wait to see this thing get 100 or get no kills. I can't wait till we fight and Regieleki is going to sweep you. Probably not. But, like, I hope you underestimate it. I really do. Because he's going to come in and he's going to demolish, right? I've never drafted Regieleki, but I've always wanted to. This thing is really, really strong. Base 100 attack and special attack is really nice. Transistor gives a little bit of a boost, so it's basically base 130 for any special type or any electric type attack. So like Thunderbolt, Thunder Cage, Volt Switch, they're all basically base 130 special attack, but everything else is base 100. Base 200 speed is really, really good, right? This thing is the fastest Pokemon that was drafted. I think it's one of the fastest Pokemon that was able to be drafted up there with Ninjask and a Selgor. But this thing is the fastest Pokemon that was drafted, which means that there is not a single Pokemon that can outspeed Regieleki, base, like max speed Regieleki, without a Choice Scarf or like an in-game speed boost like Tailwind or Agility, right? So without those, there's no way for a base Pokemon to outspeed. So that way we know that we're going to force our opponents to go for a Choice Scarf if they want to outspeed it. And if I'm really that nervous, I throw a Choice Scarf on Regieleki. Now there's no way even with a Choice Scarf you outspeed it, right? Having this thing just being as fast as it is just putting our team in such a high level when it comes to speed. That means that our opponent is always going to have to worry about this and always has to know that they aren't going to be able to outspeed the entirety of my team without a Choice Scarf. And even with a Choice Scarf, sometimes some Pokemon still won't outspeed me. So Regieleki is just very, very good in general, and I think Power Line's going to come in and sweep. Right? I'm telling you. I really, really think it will, right? We got Thunder Cage, so we can trap Pokemon if we need. Explosion is nice. I don't know if I'll ever run it, but we do have the ability to run it. We do have Rapid Spin if we need to get rid of hazards. Our team is very anti-hazards, as you will see. It's going to get more and more anti-hazard as our draft goes on. And like I said, we do have access to screens. I don't think I'm going to go for screens. I know a lot of people use it as a fast screens user, but I have a bunch of other screens users that I feel like are more likely to go for screens than Regieleki. So, we do have that, right? Obviously, Volt Switch for pivoting is just really, really good. So, next Pokemon up on our list, guys, when I'm telling you, this thing has never made it past round 1. The fact that it made it to the beginning of round 3 is absolutely insane. If you're telling me my team is not busted after seeing our lineup of Urshifu, Regieleki, and Melmetal, I don't know what to tell you guys. Yes, he's slow, but don't sleep on my boy Melmetal, man. I've used this thing so much in competitive. This thing is so insane. I used this thing in a battle the other day, guys, in NatDex, and I had a team that whittled my Melmetal down to half health, right? They brought out 3 more physical type attacking mons, and they were able to outspeed and attack my Melmetal every single time, but they were unable to knock it out from under half health with 3 physical type attacks, and I was only max HP. When I say this thing is a tank, guys, this thing, like, if my opponent only has physical type attackers, it's GG. And as you can see under the moves, I have access to acid armor, right? They have a lot of physical type attackers. I go for 1, possibly 2 acid armors. It's GG. Like, it's G-frickin' G. There's no way. Melmetal, it's like you would have a better chance of punching your way through a brick wall with your bare hand than beating Melmetal after that with physical type attacks, right? Special defense isn't great. Yes, you breathe some fire on this thing, it's going to just melt it. However, it still has base 135 attack. I feel like I can still make it to outspeed most other special attackers, right? So we do have access to that. Does get access to Iron Fist. So base 143 attack, also nothing to scoff at. Iron Fist is going to do a lot for punching moves, right? Double Iron Bash is considered a punching move. So is Ice Punch. He does get access to like Dynamic Punch and stuff, but I'm not really going to worry about that. We got Earthquake, Self-Defense, Self-Destruct, which is just really, really, really good in general. Thunder Wave for another just... I don't even know if we'll ever use it, but it is something that I think is really cool that the thing gets. We already talked about Acid Armor, right? So, yeah, this is Bob. Everybody say hi to Bob in the comments. It is short for Bob the Builder. But I couldn't fit that all in, so everybody go into the comments and say hello, Bob. He's just happy to be here, right? He's just happy to be here. He's gonna come in, he's gonna demolish, and then he's gonna be, he's gonna be like Korg. He's like, hello there. Like, he's just gonna come in. He's a very nice guy. He's very chill, right? He's just gonna come in. He doesn't want to hurt anybody. He's just going to hurt a lot of people in this league. Yeah. So I'm really excited for Malametal, if you guys can't tell. Drafting a tier 1 this early with points is really really not great. But I had planned out my draft pretty much like the order of everything that I wanted to get. So I knew kind of how I wanted to go. And luckily I didn't get sniped at all this season. So we were able to pick up these Pokemon. Next up, we got another Pokemon that I have wanted to... Well, I mean, I've drafted it before, right? I drafted him in our very first league we ever did in the NPBA Season 1. We picked him up with a free agent transaction, and he was one of my favorite Pokemon. I think he's really, really good with Terra, and I'm sad he's not in Gen 9. So we picked up our boy, King Quake the Nidoking, right? Nidoking is super, super good in Tier 3. I feel like Tier 3 might be a little bit of a steal for him, but I didn't feel like he was worth Tier 2. So yeah, Nidoking is just very, very, very good in general. He hits really hard with sheer force. High horsepower is going to be stronger than Earthquake with sheer force Life Orb, which apparently the game counts Life Orb damage as secondary effects. So it gets rid of Life Orb damage, so I can just go and hit super hard. If you guys don't know what sheer force does, it negates the secondary effect of a move, and it boosts the power of it. So stuff like Poison Jab and High Horsepower no longer, like Poison Jab no longer has the 10%, 30% chance, whatever it is, the poison, and it just boosts its damage, right? Does get access to Toxic Spikes. Again, this is a Toxic Spike Absorber. Our team really isn't super, super bulky other than Malametal. Malametal is immune to Toxic Spikes. So chances are I don't think our team is going to, like the opposing team is going to go for Toxic Spikes unless they really think King Quake is not coming. But he still has the option to absorb them. We also have Toxic Spikes, so we can set it up if we want, as well as Stealth Rocks, which is really, really nice. And then, as always, we have Taunt, which is just always a really, really good move to have. So, yeah, that's just really, really, really cool in general. So, we did make this like a Terra Captain, like I said before. Right, we have Terra Ground, Terra Water, and Terra Electric. I did have Terra Stellar on this thing instead of Electric at first, but I felt like these are probably better. I wanted Electric to hit Water types and Flying types. Ground, I think, is just going to absolutely demolish, and then Water is just a good defensive typing just in general, right? But yeah, that's one of our Terra Captains, and I'm super excited about using him as a Terra Captain. Yeah, but moving on to the next Pokemon. Next Pokemon I drafted was a little bit of an impulse pick, right? Another Pokemon that I've wanted to draft for seasons, and I've never been able to draft it before. And I kind of picked it up, and then I kind of regretted it a little bit later. We picked up our boys, I guess. Demob, the Tandem Mouse, Mousehold, right? We did not pick up Tandem Mouse, right? We got our boy Demob in here. I think he's going to be really good. I almost dropped him for Explode, but I wanted that base 111 speed to have something else really fast on our team. Explode is slow. I know he's another physical type attacker, but I just think he's just going to be really, really good in general, right? But, honestly, you even have, like, a Steel type, right? That's, like, a half health. You knock out one of my Pokemon, I bring out Mousehold. They're going to come out, and they're going to be like, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding to tell me that I'm not going to be able to absolutely demolish you. And and they're just going to jump him. They're going to pull out a bunch of baseball bats, and they're going to beat the crap out of that Pokemon. They're going to take him into a dark alley. They're going to beat the crap out of him, and those Pokemon are never going to see the light of day again, right? Like, Technician Pop Bomb is just absolutely insane. Like, it's crazy, right? So, I think it's just really good. I've used this thing in doubles quite a bit. I used it in singles a little bit when the generation first came out, but I haven't used it in singles in a while, so I don't know how good it is. Does not have good bulk. He's got an alright attack, but with Technician, stuff like Bite is going to be really nice as well. Tidy Up is another one. They're going to come in here, sweep up the mess on the floor, get rid of those pesky sticky webs or stealth rocks or anything. Another reason why our team is very anti-hazards. And then we get a +1 in speed and attack, so that's just insane. Super Fang doing like half damage to all their Pokemon, which is really nice. Encore is really cool too, just in case I want to bring this thing in and Encore him on into something like Swords Dance or something like that, as well as U-Turn for pivoting is always really, really good. Like I said, I feel like this is like an impulse pick. I may end up dropping this thing for a better normal type, but we do have the option of having this thing, and I think it's just going to be really, really good. So, when it came back to me, I needed a ghost type. We already have 2 Pokemon a week to fighting, and I wanted, and our Mega's also weak to fighting, so I wanted to bring back somebody from a very early Season 1 of the league, the MVP actually from Season 1 of the league, right? King Quake needed a little bit of a friend from that season to come back, so we brought back our boy Kiawe, the Alolan Marowak, right? Rockhead is so good, man, and with the Thick Club, its signature item, this thing is going to come in and he's just going to go clubbing. And I'm not talking about the, type of clubbing. I mean, like, he's just going to come in with that thick club of his, and he's just going to come in with it swanging. I really don't like how I said that. Thick club as in the bone in his hand, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Marowak gives very, very thick club energy, but I have not seen it. I don't want to see it unless it's the thick club in his hand. So let's just move on, right? He's very self-conscious of it, so we're just going to move on, right? Kiawe is very sensitive of the size of his club, and it is a very, very thick club. I'm telling you guys, because this thing is going to hit very, very, very hard. Signature item, basically being a free life orb with Rockhead Flare Blitz is insane, right? I remember so well in the first season of the NPBA with Thick Club, Flare Blitz just being able to demolish, right? Base 80 attack. It's not, like, phenomenal, but it's not bad. And with Rockhead and Flare Blitz, it's just really good. His defenses aren't great except for his except for his physical defense, which honestly is pretty good, but we already have multiple other physically defensive mons. But if we wanted to run this thing, we could. We do also have the option of Lightning Rod if I do want to be immune to electric types, but I always think Rockhead is better. We do have Poltergeist. I get very, very scared going for Poltergeist because I've never missed a move more in my entire life than Poltergeist that has that high of an accuracy. I think it's like 90-95, and I have missed Poltergeist so many times that it's cost me the battle. So it always makes me nervous, but we do have that. We also have Will-O-Wisp if we want to go for that. Shadow Sneak, he's got a base 45 speed. He's very, very slow, so Shadow Sneak could come in handy to pick off some Pokemon. As well as we have Fire Spin and Icy Wind, never for the damage, right? He's got base 50 special stack, but Fire Spin locks the Pokemon in so he can't, and does residual damage, and Icy Wind will lower the speed of a Pokemon, so that could be useful at times, right? But this is Kiawe. He's pretty much straightforward. I wanted to draft him again. It's been a while since I've drafted him, so yeah, I just think he's just really, really cool in general, and yeah, I think we're going to have fun. So, I decided to draft my Mega next. I didn't want to draft it this early because I didn't think it was going to get drafted, and I had other Pokemon I wanted to do, but I needed that extra 50 points so I could draft some of my lower tier Mons, so I just felt like it was time, right? So, we drafted my favorite Mega Pokemon design of all time. Oh, yeah. We made Alolan Marowak a Terra Captain, right? We got Fire, Ghost, Fairy, right? Both for stabs because I feel like that's what we're going to need the most. And then Fairy's just overall is just really good. Our Fairy type that we did get is not the best Fairy type in the world, and I'm going to fully admit that, but it is one of my favorites and is one that I wanted to use personally. It was the last Pokemon we drafted, so I'll talk about this a little bit more later. But yes, we do have Fairy for that. But like I said, my favorite Mega, designed Mega of all time, Mega Absol, right? We got Reaper coming in here, right? Absol being my 5th favorite Pokemon of all time, and my favorite Mega Evolution of all time. I even highly doubt they're going to make a Mega Evolution in ZA that's cooler than this, right? The Angel of Death design is so dope. It's not my favorite Mega to use competitively, but I have used it very extensively, so I know how to use this thing in competitive. And I just really like this thing in general, right? Plus the red shiny is just chef's kiss, right? Absolutely insane, right? One of my favorite I really like using Mega Beedrill, and I really love like Mega Lopunny as well. I love using Mega Lopunny. I didn't mean to say that I love Mega Lopunny. I'm. You know what? We're just gonna move on, right? So might not be my favorite Mega to use, but it is still my favorite Mega in general, and it's just really cool, right? But this is why I said our team is very anti-hazards. Magic Bounce, right? This thing is insane. Like, as long as I'm Mega Evolved, they're not going for hazards, right? And with the possibility of Tidy Up, with the possibility of Rapid Spin, spoiler, we have a Defogger, a Toxic Spike Absorber, and Magic Bounce user. Nobody's going for hazards against me. And if they do, that's cool on them, man. We do have Super Luck as an ability if we don't Mega. But chances are we're just going for Magic Bounce, right? Every time. Base 150 attack, insane. Base 115 speed is right up there with Mousehold. And then right below Regieleki being our 2nd fastest mon on the team. This thing is just really good in general. Being able to just click Knock Off or Sucker Punch is just really good. And our opponent has to worry about, like, hey, is he going to click Sucker Punch with a base 150 attack? That's really strong, right? He does get a lot of, like, coverage moves, too, like Play Rough in close combat. Also, like, X-Scissor and Mega Horn. Swords Dance, which his defenses are not good. So the thing is it's like I probably will never go for Swords Dance unless it is 100% free, and I know it's 100% free because of the fact that it's such a hard move to go for, right? And then we also have Taunt, too. This thing is a really good, obviously having Taunt is always just a really good Pokemon in general. So, yeah. But now, moving on to our next Pokemon. This point, everybody's dropping into like the tier 3s and tier 4s, and everybody starts taking their Sticky Webs mons. This round specifically, I know Galvantula and Araquanid went. I felt like it was time for me to draft my Sticky Webs mon in tier 4. That I think is a very underrated mon in general, and I was really nervous it was going to get picked. So, you know what? I said screw it. Let's go with Leavanny, right? Leavanny, such a cool Pokemon, bro. Such a cool Pokemon. 4 times weak to fire, 4 times weak to flying. Not good, right? Straight up not good. This thing is fast. 92 speed. Pretty good. Sticky Webs. Very good. Right? I would like Sticky Webs. As you guys know, I always try to draft 1. And honestly, base 103 attack is more than I thought it was. Right? For a mon like this, is just like, sheesh, bro. Like, the only other thing though, like his defenses are not great. They're better than Absol's, but they're just not, like, phenomenal. But, I mean, like, I could move it. Now, Overcoat is a terrible ability. Obviously, he's already immune to, like, Sleep Powder because he's a grass type. So, Swarm is going to be, like, what we normally go with. You know, Focus Sash it. Get it down to Focus Sash. Now it's in Swarm. And it can go for stuff like Leaf Blade, which is cool. I love Lunges as a move because it drops the attack stat of the Pokemon. Triple Absol is really cool. Heal Bell, which is nice to get rid of like static conditions on other Pokemon. And then Trailblaze is always just a really nice move to come in and be like, boom, hit it and then get a speed boost. And, you know, maybe that'll help us out a little bit. I don't know. But Leavanny is my tier 4. I feel like this thing might not be super great, but I think it's a very underrated Gen 5 mon. And I feel like it's just going to be really good. Like that 103 attack, I think it's just really dope. So. Now, I know you guys are still looking at the fact that I have 150 points left, right? But I still have a tier 2 option open, right? And I thought that it was my time to draft. I always like having a Tailwind mon. I always like having a Defog mon, right? And this season, I decided to go with something that it's like my team didn't need more power, right? It didn't, but I wanted to, right? Maybe not be as good without Terra. I knew this thing probably wouldn't get drafted. Its Mega got drafted. We drafted our boy, Jet Ray, the Salamence, right? Jet Ray! If you guys know what that's from, That's awesome. I don't have my Omnitrix on right now, but I have a watch face on my smartwatch. That's the Omnitrix from Ben 10, right? So we got Jet right here. I think he's just really good. Yes, he's 4 times weak to ice. I know that. But we could throw the Yachi Berry on him. Yes, a lot of Pokemon like Dawn fans stupidly get Ice Shard. Makes me a little nervous. And this thing can't Terra, but he's still a really, really good mon, right? Base 135 attack, really good. Base 100 speed, pretty good. All of his defenses, 80, 80, and 95 HP. Like, come on, bro. This thing could be made bulky, right? It can be fast, it can be bulky, it can be offensive, it can be whatever I want. Right? Base 110 special attack is higher than Regieleki's without Transistor. So, like, this thing is just really, really, really good. Intimidate, very, very good ability, too, to drop the opponent's attack stat. And Moxie to raise our attack stat every time we knock on a bond, right? Because this is National Dex, we do get access to Tailwind and Defog. So I do have those, which is really, really nice. This thing does get access to stuff like Dragon Dance, which is really cool, too. Dual Wing Beat. If this thing isn't going to just be a support mon, we do have the offensive capabilities. This thing I feel like is a late game sweeper to come in, click a Dragon Dance or two, and to clean up, right? Dual Wing Beat, Dragon Claw, stuff like that. Does get Wish, which I figured out only by doing this video. So, like, Wish Protection shenanigans could be cool. And then Roost is always cool, too. Getting rid of our 4 times weakness to Ice, too, to just make it a 1 time for that turn could be pretty cool, too. So, yeah. But now it's time for me to use the rest of my points, right? We have 150 points, so we can draft a 50-point mon and a 100-point mon, right? I decided to drop my 50-point mon first because I knew the 100-point one wouldn't get drafted. And we picked up another cool Pokemon that I've never used before, but I think it's really cool. I like my Eviolite Pokemon, as you know. So we picked up, oh yeah, this is our Z Captain. Our only mon that can go for Z moves. He gets a lot of coverage and like Flamethrower and like Hydro Pump, Earthquake, stuff like that. So I feel like this is probably better than like Urshifu or Melmetal, who pretty much like are going to rely on their items more than like Salamence. So like if I want to go for a Z Crystal on a mon, Salamence I feel like is probably our best bet. So yeah. So tier 4, right? We drafted Bon Voyage, the Glaring Mr. Mom, right? Mime. Not Glaring Mr. Mom. God damn. Bon Voyage, right? We drafted Ash's Galarian father, right? His father from another father. What? I don't know. We drafted the Galarian Mr. Mom. I like this one, right? Bon Voyage from The Incredibles. The mime from the first one at the beginning. So I love this. I love this mon. I think he's just really, really good. With the Eviolite, 65 defense, 90 special defense, and 50 HP. Not the best, but it could be really good, right? Plus, this thing gets Vital Spirit, so it can't be put to sleep, which could be good for, like, mons that want to try and spam, like, Sleep Powder and stuff. Screen Cleaner, right? Also, base 90 special attack for a tier 4 mon. Pretty good, bro. He's not even fully evolved. Base 90 special attack is, like, I think it's going to be pretty good, right? Screen Cleaner. Such a cool ability, right? It's his unique ability that only he gets. Basically, when he comes into the field, all the screens go away. He comes in and he's like, whoa, we're going to clean up these screens, and that's pretty cool. So our other team, our opponent, can't really go for like Reflect and Light Screen super easily because all I have to do is bring Mr. Mime in and they're gone. Really, really cool. We get screens ourselves. If I'm going for screens, mon, chances are we're going with Mr. Mime, right? He's base 100 speed, which is really, really nice. He does get access to Ice Shard and Freeze Dry, which is cool. Focus Blast, which is really nice. He does get more, like, coverage moves than you would think. Like Energy Ball, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Expanding Force, stuff like that. Rapid Spin is also really cool. Another Rapid Spinner. And Calm Mind. Hey, if I'm running an Eviolite and I kind of want to run a more especially defensive and offensive mod, we do have the access to that. It would be kind of cool if at some point this season we get a Mr. Mime sweep. We won't, but, that would be really cool. But yeah, I don't really have very much more to say about it. Now, our last mod. Now, I know you guys are going to see this, and you're going to be like, why would you draft that mon? It is a bad mon. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a great mon. There's a stink bug on my door. I heard it buzzing. And I really, I really like this mod, right? I've used it a little bit in Nat decks, and I feel like it's a little underrated. So don't hate me for drafting it. We needed a fairy type. Who drafted Unicron, the Galarian Rapidash, right? Now, I know it's not that great of a mon in general, but I love this mon. I think it's awesome. It's got a really dope shiny. I'll never forget when they had that live stream where they had all the Impidimps and then had the Galarian Ponytail just kind of like come trotting through, which is really, really cool. This Pokemon is just really, really awesome, right? It's got useless abilities. I mean, it can't fall asleep, I guess. I don't know if it can fall asleep. I know Pastel Veil makes it so it's like friends can't fall asleep. So that has nothing to do, like it's not going to work in singles. Anticipation might kind of be kind of cool, so we know if it's got a super effective attack, but like, actually, the stink bug just came over here to say hi. Hi, Mr. Stink Bug. He's on my wall now. I didn't even see him fly over here. Huh. You better not get close to me. I want to pull a Mr. Miyagi on you if you come closer to me, bro. I'm just gonna like... Bro, stay. Let me finish my video, bro. Sit here and watch, right? Enjoy what I got left to say. Stay. Okay. So, yeah, it's still pretty good, right? Base 100 attack is nice. Base 105 speed is pretty nice. It doesn't have the worst defensive, but they're not great. But I can make it bulky if I want to. This thing gets access to like Play Rough, Psycho Cut, Swords Dance, Drill Run, Substitute, Healing Wish. So if I want to try and come in, Healing Wish and bring back another Pokemon at full health, that could be cool, especially with it being like 105. I don't know where that Stink Bug went now. Oh, now I see him. He's on the ceiling now. Okay. Have fun up there, bro. I'm not climbing up there to get you, so you're probably just going to have to stay in here, and then when my girlfriend comes in here, she's not going to be happy. I'm going to forget to kill him. Alright. So, but yeah. So, Healing Wish, I think, is just really cool in general. But this thing is just, it's good, right? I want this thing to be underestimated, right? I want people to see that and be like, that's such a stupid pick. Why would he pick that? I've never seen anybody draft it. In my league or in any other draft league that I've seen in the last 10 years of watching draft league, I've never seen anybody draft it. But hey, if I can be the first one to come in, as long as this thing does something this season, I will be happy. So, yeah. This is the team, guys. Definitely, I feel like just the combination of Urshifu, Regieleki, Salamence, and Melametal, the offensive capabilities of this team, you could even throw like Nidoking in there and maybe even like Mousehold, right? The offensive capabilities of this team is absolutely insane, right? We really only have a couple choices of like Mr. Mime and Regieleki for physically offensive special taggers, but we do have like Salamence who could go specially offensive as well. So if we really, really need to, and then Absol, I think, could as well, if need be. But overall, this is our team. I think it's the most busted team I've ever done. Week 1, we are fighting It's Me Dome, who is a longtime battler here on the NPBA. So I'm excited to fight him. You guys should see that video next week. And yeah, hopefully we can pick up a win this season. So I highly doubt we're going to win the whole thing, but making it to semifinals might be cool again. So need to get my revenge on Lancey Poo. So, but yeah, guys, that is going to be it. So, like I say at the end of every video, I am the Nitro General. I really hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Nitro General's out. Peace.